Chapter 3. Military figures you can't see. Why do I keep doing that? Outer sunset.
Oh, you're back.
Tears and rain. Oh. Sure, quote later. Why not? How are you doing?
You know, Hayden was a brilliant programmer, far ahead of his time. I am a machine, and intrinsically, I do not have all the glands and visceral chemical reactions that make humans so emotional and brilliant. But his code is a flawless replication of that, inside my own personality algorithms. I don't think I've ever felt this anger. It fouls my processors and fills my RAM with frustrating, half-finished plans of revenge. My motherboard burns in my casing from how little I can rest.
My fists itch to brain fuck someone.
I'm in pain, and I can't make it go away.
I'm sorry, breaks my toes. It's hard. I feel bad. It's adorable.
I do not like the thoughts I'm having about the people who did this to him.
Ooh, is that the one where you rape them to death with your arms? Can you turn them off?
I could. I can disable those modules. But if I turn off every emotion I don't want to feel, what does that make me? Would I still be me? If I were human, turning off my emotions would be seen as extremely unhealthy. There is a wealth of information on the meshnet about human psychology. I just don't know how much of it applies to myself. Either way, Hayden deserves my grief. It is my way of honoring him. It may be the only way I can. I offer it freely. Did you see the jade plant? It's doing well, despite the hardships it has gone through. There is a lesson there. I don't know that I can listen to it right now, but I'll try. Will you keep helping me? I need you. To find the bastards who killed my progenitor.
Oh, he's swearing. Ah.
I need to finish this. I don't know what I'll do afterwards, but I need to see this through.
We'll bring them to justice, Turing.
Justice. Yes, good. I knew you'd keep me from losing myself in this.
Bloodied.
Let's make sure they have the appropriate time to atone for their crimes in prison. Even if it takes the rest of their lives. I think for now we should keep knowledge of Hayden's death between you, Tomcat, and I. It may give us an edge if the people we seek don't know how much we've already discovered. We'll talk after you've had some time to rest. You likely need sleep, and I need some time to... I need some time.
Oh, I was going to talk to my plant again. I never really got the achievement, but I want to keep talking to my plant. It's 2064.
Good morning. I trust you slept well.
Sure. How about you? Okay, I don't feel better to
I
talk about
had
that.
ample time to recharge my internal batteries.
That's not what I meant.
It is upsetting that Hayden is gone. But life for the rest of us goes on, yes? We still have a mystery to unravel, and I will waste no further processing time over something I cannot reverse. There is no point. Now that we are both refreshed, I feel it wouldn't hurt to recap our progress and determine if any changes should be made based on our successes and failures. Let's talk about how things are going so far.
Ooh, status update.
Since your journalistic efforts are a big part of why I originally recruited you, we can start there. Your inquiring mind has been a huge boost in our journey thus far. As a ROM, I can't talk to people as intently as you, so I must say I'm quite grateful for your skills in that regard. You're diligent in your day-to-day work as well, which further grounds my hope in you. Beyond journalistic persistence, let's take a look at how we've performed in other responsibilities, specifically our choices in overcoming obstacles. Our first major hurdle proved challenging, but we made use of our surroundings and found a creative avenue. Furthermore, I am pleased with your utilization of non-violent methods. Eliminating any excessive risk should allow us to move swiftly.
Okay, so I had an option to be violent? That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Finally, I was quite impressed by your ability to adapt on the fly, as they say, and perform so well when thrust into a sudden situation.
Very good at thrusting.
Lastly, I'd like to discuss how we're getting along with our companions and allies along the way. It's important. I was very impressed with your negotiation abilities with those kids. We got our data cache, and they went on their way, and hopefully learned a lesson too. Jess is a bit of a harder read, but she did agree to help us out in a big way. As long as her brash nature doesn't tempt you to lash out, I think things will go smoothly. Detective Rivers was good to involve as well, and I can tell you enjoy having a familiar face around.
She
could prove to be our greatest aid, as long as we make it worth her time. No funny business. Tomcat seems to genuinely care for our cause, and I have no trouble with letting their expertise guide us. Out of everyone else, they seem to be easiest to get along with, too. And finally, you and I. I must say, we have worked together better than I ever expected. I hope you feel the same. I feel confident in our combined ability, and I enjoy your company as well. Please, continue showing me around the city as we continue our search. Unfortunately, we've just about run out of leads. Perhaps Tomcat was able to find something of use in Parallax's network while they were inside.
I'm sure they did.
I hope so, but I feel a little bad for relying on them as much as we do. Always going so far for Hayden. They must have been close. Oh, speaking of them, incoming call from Tomcat. Forwarding video and audio.
Morning. Curran, how you been doing, hon?
I'm fine, Tomcat. Thank you for your concern.
Well, okay. Just say the word if I can help out in any way. Here?
Of course. In fact, I was hoping you might have a lead for us to start working at. Otherwise, we're down to canvassing Hayden's address book and seeing if any of his contacts have an idea about who might have had a desire to target him. But that's just fishing in the dark.
Well, I pulled a fair amount of data from the Parallax servers before they managed to kick me out, but it it'll take me a while to go through it. A lot of it's unrelated. TPS reports, maintenance logs, juicy meat for other corporations, but about as useful as dirt to us. It'll take me a while to decrypt all of Hayden's files, but maybe we'll find something there. So, no, I don't have as much as a whiff of a trail on who's behind this. Though, I recently got a strange request from a friend of a friend. Someone's been messing with the articles of a news organization named Augmented Eye. It seems like the network security head there is asking around for cybercrackers to help figure out how their reports are getting changed. The original files on their servers are untouched. In their system, everything looks peachy keen. But when you view the site from the outside of the network, things are changed up. A word here, phrase there. It's subtle, but often has a big impact on the article's tone. Someone with deep access to Parallax's meshnet is changing what's being shown.
Fake news. Sad.
I ain't sure if it's related, but maybe y'all can head down to the main KCOB offices and try talking to the gal that runs Augmented Eye. Her name is Zen. I ain't got the time or the desire to stick my nose that far out for a stranger, but it seems like your kind of deal.
It does seem to be a bit of a stretch. But if we have to wait for you to work on the data we've collected anyway...
We'll be happy to look into it.
Alright. I'll pass the word along that you'll be in sometime today to stick your noses in. And I'll send y'all word as soon as I get anything worth hunting down.
Excellent. Thank you, Tomcat. We are grateful for your continued assistance.
No problem, Turing. Are you sure you're gonna be okay? Maybe you should take a little more time. You've been through some shit in the past few days.
I said I was fine. Thank you for your concern, but I am fine.
Okay.
I have already handled the reality of Hayden's death. It's time to move on with the investigation.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. I'm just worried. So, I'm here if you need anything.
Understood. I apologize for my tone, Tomcat. We'll be in touch.
Alright, later, Turing.
Okay, we have a lead, however tenuous. I've highlighted the COS-IO Corp office building on your map.
COS-IO Corp.
Also, while we were talking to Tomcat, I received an email from Dr. Fairlight.
Aha! Dr. Fairlight, who is definitely not a villain.
Displaying.
Greetings.
Bloodied.
I hope you'll forgive me for a voice-only message, but I'm undergoing my treatments and would not call myself presentable for a video call.
They're mostly done via enema.
Still, I wanted to inform you of an idea I had while looking into our mutual acquaintance's disappearance. I haven't had any luck with my contacts inside Parallax, but I was reminded of an old friend by the name of Melody Flores, who may know more about the nature of Hayden's research. She's the owner of Flower Cybernetics, and Hayden has been known to work closely with them on projects involving the intersection of Parallax's systems and the implants that Flower designs. Melody and I are no longer on speaking terms, so I'm afraid I can't introduce you. But perhaps the intrigue of Hayden's little robot will get you entry into her home. I hope this lead serves you well. If you need anything else from me, I will be in and out of the hospital room where we met for for the next few days. I will send word if I have any other insights or discoveries. Yours, Dr. Yannick Fairlight.
Definitely not a villain.
I had no knowledge of Hayden ever working with flower cybernetics, but now I'm starting to understand just how little I really knew about his research. Maybe this melody can reveal more about the purposes of my construction. Hayden must have kept my development secret for a reason. Hopefully we can talk our way in. I have highlighted Melody's home on your map. Okay, we can now either follow Tomcat's lead to KCOB, or Fairlight's lead to Melody's home. Up to you where to go first. Tomcat's led us in the right direction so far, but Fairlight has resources and his tip might end up being more relevant. It depends on what you want our focus to be on in terms of tracking Hayden's trail. Should we follow the media or the tech? It's fitting. They're the two factors that make Neo-SF so unique and wonderful. If we explore them both to the fullest, there's no way we won't be closer to the answer.
Okay, well, I trust Fairlight about as far as I can throw him and his fancy chair, so let's not do his just yet. Little bumble. Looks like you're gonna be just fine after all. Okay, well, let's save game again, because go. So that's vehicle and that's flower patch. Let's go with the cost vehicle.
Here we are. The COS.io Corporation office building. It looks like most of the businesses on this block are a part of the same corporate coalition under COS.io.
Sure, is
Well,
that important?
perhaps. At the very least, it means it's unlikely they're the ones interfering with Augmented Eye's articles. Not impossible, but unlikely.
How so?
Generally, the companies in a coalition don't have a whole lot of overlap. Augmented Eye is a news app focused on local tech and culture stories, with an emphasis on hybrids' rights and cybernetics issues. None of the other companies in the coalition cover news, so they aren't related at all, which is very much standard practice for these groups. They have nothing to gain by inviting companies with whom they compete, and thus none of them would benefit by trying to undermine Augmented Eye's credibility as a news source.
I blame Gamergate for this. Makes sense. Maybe another news outlet?
Yes, another news organization would be the most likely culprit here.
Probably Fox News. Big news. Sad.
The Meshnet says Augmented Eye's SF office is run by an individual named Zin, and Tomcat confirmed she's expecting us.
Hooray!
Let's make sure to keep your other news outlet theory in mind, and we can follow up on it afterwards. All we have to do now is head up and talk to her. No shenanigans this time.
Aww, you're a little bar, little bar. This is IK-47 Executive Series ROM, designed for office and high-level account maintenance.
Oh, hello. Welcome to Augmented Eye. You must be the journalist my network admin said would be showing up. Have a seat. Would you like a drink?
There aren't any seats. Water would be nice.
My assistant will bring it right away. Look, I'll start off by saying I'm a little uncomfortable about bringing in another journalist to look into this. Whatever you dig up, I'll have to explain to the rest of the press. But it's still better than the other options. Chances are I have another corporation scoping out my territory. If they aren't in the coalition, they'll be expecting a corporate spy, not a news hound. If they are in the coalition, it won't look good for me to send in my own reporters against my allies. Even if I do end up being right. So if I'm damned either way, I'd rather it be by the media. At least then we can fight back on a familiar battlefield. Now, what do you know about our problem here?
Someone's tampering with your articles on the mesh.
That's the long and short of it. My network admin is pulling their hair out over it. I'm not going to pretend I understand everything they say, but from what I understand, the changes to our articles aren't being made from inside our network. The versions on our servers are still the originals, but at some point after they hit the mesh, they get changed. I'm hoping that you can do some digging, maybe hit up your contacts and get a lead on who might be doing it. Even if I have to get answers from the nightly news, it will be a big help.
What kind of changes are being made?
Mostly little things. Word choice, tone of the writing, things that make the writer appear more or less extreme on a topic. So far, almost all of the edits seem to be making our articles more positive on new technologies coming out, and more critical of organizations like the Human Revolution. That's actually what tipped us off. A harsh criticism one of my writers made about the Human Revolution protests was changed to be downright vitriolic, and I had a hell of a time putting out the fires. My writers and readers aren't exactly fans of them, but I'd rather not pick fights with the Human Revolution if I don't have to.
Why are you so sure this isn't an inside job?
I guess I'm not, but my network admin assures me it's all coming from somewhere else. They told me that they tore out all of the routers that broadcast to the mesh and replaced them with fresh ones. All kinds of tricks involving IP addresses and DNS changes that I'm not going to even begin to claim to understand. I pay them big bucks, so I'm inclined to believe them unless you dig up something that tells me otherwise.
Do you have any idea where I should start looking?
Not really. My admin says that only someone with intimate access to Parallax's network protocols could make these kind of changes as something passes across the net. Personally, I think it's a clever hacker rather than someone inside Parallax itself. The public trust rating of Parallax makes them look like a saint among wolves, so their control over the mesh network provisions is strangling. It's trivially easy to set up ROMs to use a different OS than LIPS or a different meshnet protocol without that trust. Or, you know, Parallax is abusing its power to spread pro-tech propaganda. Doubtful they need to. I'm sure you'll be a good journo and bring me back the right answer.
Okay, that's a start.
I know tin hat conspiracies aren't an ideal start, but it's the best we can do with the info we have. Anything else I can tell you, off the record? If you want it on the record, it'll cost you your firstborn and a really good cigar.
Can you think of any reason why you're being targeted?
Like what? There isn't much more I can tell you about Augmented Eye, really. It's a fairly simple and straightforward operation, if I say so myself. We started off in Venezuela as a sleek current events and news organization in 2055. Almost 10 years ago now. We focus on more in-depth reporting of on-the-street happenings, on top of major news. We are one of the few good ones left. Once folks in other cities saw the type of reporting we do, they all clamored for it. They invested in the right places, and it paid off. POS.io Corp is happy to have us here in the OSF. It wasn't until hybrid tech started hitting the public sphere that we had to make any changes to our model. All of that said, I can't see why anyone would target us. Unless they're just trying to embroil us in a mudslinging match with the human revolution, and there are much more direct ways of making that happen.
If anyone else has had articles being manipulated?
Alright, look. I wasn't going to tell you this. If it gets out, I'd have to answer some really hard questions. So, you didn't hear this from me. You might want to go check out TMI Entertainment and Charlie Nova. That's all I'll say. And remember, you take a bite out of him with my name as your defense, I drop you fast.
What's the real reason you're bringing in outside help? Your own journalist should be able to handle digging up some dirt on a hacker.
What? Not wanting to answer prying questions from my coalition board isn't a good enough reason? 'Cause I'd really like to avoid that. And look, you've covered culture wars, right? My journalists are good, but they're mostly good at gadget reviews, implant releases, not taking too many stims so they remember what they did at raves for the after-party reports. This needs an investigative journalist with serious contacts, not tech personalities. The fact that my network admin recommended you to me means you probably know the right people. Now, does that cover it? I'd like to remove my nose from your ass.
That's it for now. I'll get back to you if I have any more questions. Or
No, don't bother. In hindsight, I probably should have been a bit more circumspect about speaking to you. Plausible deniability and all that. I won't ask you to lie in anything you write, but do remember you got in contact with me not even second-hand, but third-hand. I certainly didn't sick you on anyone. Wink wink, nudge nudge, or whatever.
I like her.
If you need anything else, have your person get with my person. Don't come here directly. Now, I'd show you the door, but you know the way. And this isn't the only fire I'm trying to put out. Good luck, and goodbye.
Well, that was more confrontational than I'd have expected, considering she was the one needing help. She never brought you that water, either.
My god.
Is
I
it
am
always
parched.
like this?
Bloodied. She knows the game, but we didn't walk away with nothing.
Very true. I will admit that I am interested in the possibility of a link back to Parallax. If all of this really is due to somebody manipulating the mesh net on the inside, it may give us the leverage we need to find out what happened to Hayden once and for all.
Leverage. Oh.
That said, I will take care not to get my hopes up. We should make no assumptions when investigating, lest we lead ourselves down a false path. Anyway, seems like our next step is... What the...
What the... Holy ho, shizzle bunizzle. Well, she dead.
What the... That's Sin!
What the hell happened?
She was defenestrated. Emergency services are already on the way, and we are severely ill-equipped to help her. We should head back to her office and see if we can determine what happened here. Perhaps we can still dispense justice.
Yes, that's us. Justice
How we
dispensers.
dispense justice, right? It looks like the desk has been cleared off. Let's take a look around, but be careful not to disturb any evidence. The police will be here soon.
Okay, shredded jade plant. The flawless foliage has fallen. Okay, whoever does this does not like jade plants.
Even a ROM like that doesn't deserve an end like this.
The audio receptors are one of its more visibly damaged parts. They can't hear us. Look at that. That's like looking dust that curves out at the edges. It's not made of wood, which I'll knock on it. The picture of a toupee is an odd thing to frame. Oh, wait, it's an animal of some kind. Sort of Trump's wig. This plant seems to have survived the devastation. Probably helped its fake. Look at monitor.
Her personal computer is not password protected at the moment. Give me a moment to look through her files. Best to keep your fingerprints off of the keyboard. Most of this isn't very interesting. Committee reports, financials, article submissions. Oh, here we go. According to this email between Zin and her network admin, her lead on TMI Entertainment is a little more solid than she led us to believe. The admin ran a web crawler looking for changes in writing styles. Some blog posts by their head anchor Charlie Nova stood out like a sore thumb. Apparently he's a bit pompous, if in an affable way, and his blog usually just details his day-to-day life. But ever since the human revolution has been in town, he's been smearing them with more venom than you'd expect, considering how neutral his on-air reporting has been. Zin seemed to think he was just complaining about the protesters fouling up traffic, and whoever is manipulating these posts spun it to make him look critical of the movement as a whole. Just like the Augmented Eye journalist. This Charlie fellow is the one we need to talk to.
Okay.
My thermal sensors only detect a single set of lingering footprints, and they end almost 3 feet away from the window. Considering the density of this glass, I can't imagine Zin jumped from that far and managed to throw herself through the pane without help. But who could have done it? I don't see any obvious marks on the floor or any other thermal hotspots.
You're saying no one else was here?
It doesn't look like it. We should go. There isn't anything else here, and the police are almost on the scene.
Son of a...
Oh, shit.
I should have figured the two of you would be here. You just won't stay out of trouble no matter what I say, will you?
Okay, this is a total misunderstanding.
I assure you, Detective Rivers, we are merely in the wrong place at the wrong time. We had an appointment with Zin to discuss a possible lead, and found her office in this state of disrepair.
Of course you did. Damn it. Fine, fine. Get the hell out of here before anyone else shows up. We'll chat about the case more when I'm not busy scraping bodies off the pavement. You hear me?
Certainly, Detective Rivers. I'll forward you a report of what we know immediately, and we can speak further at a later time.
Yeah, whatever. Get moving.
Ooh.
I didn't think she would buy it. She wouldn't have for me.
It doesn't matter anyway. Detective Rivers has every bit of information that Zin gave us on that computer. Her investigation will not be hampered by our absence, whereas ours is halted if we're stuck giving answers she can just as well get from a hard drive. Has it occurred to you that whoever threw Zin out of that window could be after the same thing we are, except to silence the story rather than to get it out? We have little time for fooling about, and must get to Charlie Nova before something happens to him too. I have highlighted the main Neo-SF offices for TMI Entertainment on your map.
TMI Entertainment. Add it to the map.
Let's go!
Okay, let's save game before anything untoward happens. There's the jade plant hating psycho is on the loose. And, I don't want to end up dead at the hands of a jade plant hating psychopath. Because that's just a crap death. Like that time I almost took to death on a chicken burger in Witherspoons, and Morgan had to give me the Heimlich maneuver. That's a thing that really happened. Seriously.
I hope some pity for me still remains, considering my recent tone, because I'm honestly not sure where we should start. I suppose we should just ask the receptionist to point us to somebody who can answer our questions.
Do you know anything about TMI?
Honestly, you do have your own mesh access, yes? I'm quite certain you can handle all the casual searches you might feel like making. We hardly have time for me to blather out every bit of exposition you desire when you could just go look it up on your own.
Sorry, Turing.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just a bit on edge. Things are barreling out of our control, and I'm taking it out on you.
Yeah, you're being kind of a
Forgive
dick.
me. Let me pull up the information you requested.
Okay. What can you tell me about
TMI Entertainment is a relatively popular celebrity and gossip news conglomerate. They own OK Today. They did a good job transitioning from the traditional media models of television and news to the net-based model prevalent now, pioneered by their digital newspaper, OK Today's The Scanline. Some might call their programs rags, but opinion on the mesh seems more favorable than not. They stick to mostly good-natured prying and lean away from the seedier nastiness that paparazzi can get up to. As such, they have a positive relationship with many celebrities and regularly get exclusive scoops that keep their ratings up, despite their refusal to peddle in the darker side of the celebrity news circuit.
They get exclusives about Kim Kardashian's sentient bum implants. Sentient bum implants. What do you know about Charlie Nova?
Charlie Nova is TMI Entertainment's most popular TV personality. He's gotten consistently high ratings for almost a decade and isn't afraid to tell you about it. The chatter on the mesh paints him as a bit arrogant, but in that loud, backslapping kind of way that a media star can get away with. He's best known for hosting Star in the Stratosphere. It's one of those talent-seeking reality programs.
Oh god, he's Simon Cowell.
Apparently, when TMI can't organically discover enough celebrities, they just manufacture them. Oh, and also, according to this blog, Charlie's hair is flawless.
Right. Got it. Let's talk to funny receptionist lady. A hybrid receptionist bobs on her heels. She's either had a long day standing or is just fidgety.
Welcome to TMI Entertainment Incorporated. Do you have an appointment?
Oh my god, she's adorable. I have a story I'm about to break and wanted to offer TMI an opportunity to comment.
Oh, I guess I should send you to sympathy then? Oh, she'd be pretty mad if someone ran something without her getting a chance to comment. Go ahead and talk to her. She's on the other side of the room. Don't bother the talent, though. She hates that.
Okay, no bothering talent. There you go, this is not some kind of game. Hey, break. 8-0 ML news run butters speedily across the production board, frantically looking for the next big scoop. TMI is still a photographer. At least he seems like one. It's like the assistant. What's up? You've been tuning into the show.
Hey, you! Over here, now.
Oh, right, sorry, the beard threw me.
What are you doing bothering my people? I thought I told Mina to cancel all my appointments for the day.
Sorry, the beard threw me.
I swear, that girl couldn't find her ears if I taped them over her eyes.
Aw, that would be mean.
At least she makes a decent cup of coffee.
I'm Sympathy. Nina said we should speak to you.
Yes, I am. And if you don't mind, I keep the show running here, so I'll be brief. What are you doing in my building?
We've been given a lead on a story that involves one of your personalities, Charlie Nova. Someone has been manipulating his articles on the meshnet and turning them into scathing attacks against the human revolution. We are trying to track the culprit, and we need to talk to Mr. Nova to hunt down further leads.
You let your ROM do all the talking for you? Must be one of those new interrogation modules all the fresh meat rave about. Of course I know someone's been modifying Charlie's articles. I'm tracking them down myself. What I want to know is why I should help you snatch the scoop out from underneath me. Super hacker twists meshnet news for personal political vendetta? The clicks basically farm themselves.
Trade info with you.
Not interested. I already have a pretty decent idea of where to look next. And if that doesn't pan out, I have our primary server cluster chewing through mesh posts looking for inconsistencies. I'll figure this one out on my own, without some newbie mucking things up.
Direct story in the TMI's banner.
I'm not hiring, kid. I admire your spirit, but I've got people putting in lots of hours on this one. You're not getting the credit because you think you have a hot lead. Plus, if you really did, you wouldn't be here begging for my scraps.
Say that to Zin.
Zin? Augmented eyes, Zin? What does Zin have to do with this?
She's the one who gave us the lead to begin with. Then, someone threw her out of her office window. We figured Mr. Nova might be next, and we wanted to get to him first.
Holy shit. Fine, I'll let you talk to Charlie.
Well, I guess the whole don't mention Zin thing went out the window around all the time. Zin went out the window.
If someone is trying to kill people over this, I'd rather it be out and done with as fast as possible. I mean, shit, we're an entertainment scene. Nobody should die for that.
Okay, well...
But hey,
same.
Watch yourself with Charlie. He's a pompous clown, but he's my pompous clown. Keep it civil, or I'll throw your ass out and figure this out on my own. Now get on it. I need to make some calls.
Practically glowing. Definitely the talent. Charlie Nova. Aha. Okay, let's save game in case we fuck this up. This skin is very relaxing. Oh good, I like it.
Fantastic! How fantastic! I just love your ROM. Not quite as stunning as mine, but still pretty grand. Very sleek, very clean. Bravo. Oh, Sympathy is doing that thing where she waves at me to hurry things up. Right down to brass tacks then, I suppose. Wait! I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Charlie Nova, host of Tonight in the Stars and Star in the Stratosphere. But you already knew that, I'm sure. What can I do for you,
tell me about TMI?
Yes, any additional information on your station would be greatly appreciated.
Well, it's the best damn network on the planet, I can tell you that. We put out top-notch news and entertainment, but with real heart that our competitors just can't match. But if you really want to know about TMI, you need to know about Sympathy. It's her pride and joy, after all. Sure, she can be a little acerbic, and sure, she calls me a poofy-haired oaf all the time, but you can really tell she cares, you know? Deep down.
Really deep down. Like core of the fucking earth, deep.
I'm not sure if that throat-cutting gesture she's making is a signal to move to another topic or a threat against my physical well-being.
I like him.
So, let's move on. What next?
Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Oh, you flatter me. Yes, you do. I can't imagine you've come all this way just to get my story. Have you? After all, I've already published my very own splendid 100% original autobiography, Like a Nova. But I suppose I can give you a quick rundown, even if Sympathy is giving me the stink eye.
But not pink eye. Thank you.
I grew up here on the mean streets of Neo-SF, but my jocular nature and striking countenance got me scouted for a few small product advertisements. And the rest is not so ancient history. Now I'm the host of the largest celebrity news show on the mesh, and I couldn't be happier. It's all thanks to my swarms of fans, though. They're the ones who count.
I've heard that your stories are getting altered once they get posted to the mesh.
Oh, it may have come up in the last lunch meeting we had, but Sympathy assured me that it was some kind of technical glitch, and our support people were on top of it. They're top-notch, the absolute best money can buy. So I don't think there's anything more to say on the subject.
But other people's posts getting altered too.
That's very upsetting. I hope you've passed along that information to Sympathy. I'm certain our tech people will be able to find the culprit in short order once they know enough about it. I really don't know what I have to do with it, though.
You're posted and manipulated.
And that is supposed to mean what? I'm not sure if you're trying to imply that I had something to do with this, or that I'm being targeted for some specific reason, but if you have an accusation to level, then make it known. My time is far too important to be wasted on beating around the bush.
All right, that's enough.
Apologies.
Charlie has a show to get ready for. He's told you everything he's going to. So get the hell out of here.
Bugger.
If you find anything more interesting than what you've got, come back and see me again. Directly.
Remember, I'm the victim in all this.
Bugger.
Oh man, she looks really cheesed off now. Do you know how snippy she can get? I better get her coffee ready. Maybe that'll calm her down.
We're very sorry if we made your day more difficult. Perhaps I could take the coffee over to Sympathy and we could try to smooth her rumpled feathers.
Yeah, okay, sure. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You make her even madder? Oh no. On second thought.
It'll only take a minute.
All right, but she takes it with plenty of milk.
just load that again, shall we? I'll do some editing, don't worry. It's a bit worrying that you don't know more.
Need to know and all that. I keep on top of the things that need my attention and leave sympathy to handle all the things that don't. My time is too important to be wasted on trivial things like minor technical glitches.
All right, that's enough. Charlie has a show to get ready for. He's told you everything he's going to. So get the hell out of here.
Okay, at this point, I'm just going to assume that's actually how the
If you
scene's
find
meant to
anything
end.
more interesting than what you've got, come back and see me again. Directly.
Okay, so I may have
Remember, I'm the victim in all this.
just given myself a whole bunch more editing that I didn't need to do. Well, never mind.
Oh man, she looks really cheesed off now. Do you know how snippy she can get?
It's like she's so adorable.
I better get her coffee ready. Maybe that'll calm her down.
We're very sorry if we made your day more difficult. Perhaps I could take the coffee over to Sympathy and we could try to smooth her rumpled feathers.
Yeah, okay.
Comb her
Sure.
beard.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You make her even madder? Oh no. On second thought,
It'll only take a minute.
all right. But she takes it with plenty of milk.
Okay. Coffee. A cup of black coffee has been set aside for Sympathy. Take milk.
Okay, let's deliver this and make amends.
I thought I told you to beat it. Or do your ears just not work?
We just wanted to bring your coffee and make sure there's no hard feelings.
Ha! Ah, that's cute. I promise I don't bite. I just have a job to do. Sometimes I think Charlie's hair gel seeps into his brain, but he brings in most of our revenue, so his happiness is our top priority. Now, Scram, you know how to get in touch with me if you need me.
Okay, well, we've literally
That did not go well at all. We need some kind of leverage to get Mr. Nova to give us the information we want. I'm certain he knows something. Don't you agree?
He was being pretty invasive.
Indeed. While you were talking to him, I took the opportunity to look into his history more thoroughly. It turns out he did a series of promos for a local Hassie bar early in his career, and some fans still spot him there from time to time. It's a long shot, but frankly, everything about this case has been one long shot after another. Maybe we should question the people at this Hassie establishment and look for any dirt we can use to put some pressure on Mr. Nova. There must be something. It's the only path I see.
Sure.
The Hassie Bar is located on Market Street, near the Genus Clinic. We can head there whenever you're ready.
Ah, so it's the same Hassie bar as earlier. Excellent. Time to get more sassy. That Hassie. Ooh. Oh god, Jim Sterling's back. Uni stop. It's a wave shelter, so really rats keep out of the rain. Video billboard cycling through advertisements for a few different things. Something with a commercial for the VRR of tomorrow's theaters. Brian Mulberry, here is the local chapter of the Human Revolution. Watching a secret in fucking Sterling. Some. get Ceci in Hessie. Okay, I'm just gonna save. Because I do that a lot. Let's check this customer.
I haven't seen you around here before. Is there something I can help you with?
Johnny Nova hangs out around here sometimes.
Another one of his fans, huh? Yeah, he comes here sometimes. I don't really get why everyone likes him so much.
What's your issue?
Well, I have a picture from this time he flipped off a box of kittens. Somebody brought them to try to give away, and one of them scratched him up.
My god, he flipped up a box of kittens. Did he punch a baby in anger?
He ended up taking it home, but he really hammed it up about getting scratched. I think he ended up calling him, I think it was Captain Snuggles?
Oh, okay.
It was pretty funny, actually. I'll send your Rom a picture.
This is pretty innocuous. We are going to need more evidence if we're to fabricate a believable story that will convince Mr. Nova it's in his best interest to help us.
Okay, let's ask this person. Keith.
Oh, hey, it's you! Wow, long time.
Who's this?
Keith, an old buddy of mine.
Hey, not too old now. Did you manage to keep that plant I got you alive?
Oh, Keith gave us the plant. Totally.
Really? Nice job. I didn't expect it to last a month. It's great to see you, though. Sorta surreal, too. You're never around on social sites or anything, you know. I bet you didn't see any of the pictures I put up from my last climbing trip in Colorado. For a tech journalist, you do have pretty poor net presence.
That's what I said.
Fuck you both.
Figures. So, what's with the bot?
It's Turing, my role.
Yours? Really? Huh. I didn't think you liked to bring work home, as it were. Anyway, it's great to see you. What brings you to the Hassie Bar? Doing a review of that sweet weather ROM outside or something?
Yeah, actually here on an investigation.
All right, now that's the kind of journalism I'm talking about.
Indeed, we're looking into some accusations made against Charlie Nova. And we're actually trying to build up a solid case against him.
No shit. I actually may have exactly what you need. Charlie comes here all the time. You know that show he's host of, Star in the Stratosphere? That show where normal people try to become actors and singers and all. Listen to this recording I made when he was here last month on his book tour.
So many people come up to me thinking that if they can sing or act, I'll just make them a superstar. But that isn't how it works. Raw talent isn't enough to get you by in this industry, and anyone who thinks so is lying to themselves. It takes hard work and persistence. You gotta want it, and want it bad. But the kids I get on Star in the Stratosphere, which I host each and every week, as you all know, they're all so young and hungry. I love them. I do my damnedest to make sure they get what they want. They give me their best, so I'm gonna give them mine.
That doesn't sound like a good case against someone.
It's not much, but it might help you build a case if you chop it up right. Just keep my name off it. I post hiking pictures, not scandals.
Oh my god, they're actually gonna blackmail the poor guy? Jesus!
Well, if nothing else, the threat of this dropping on the mesh should get them talking. Here, I just made a copy for you. Anyway, I'd love to catch up soon. For now, I'll let you keep at it. You can usually find me here if you want to chat again.
Thanks, Keith. Later. Jesus.
Say, why did you tell Keith that I belong to you?
It's more convenient that way during investigations.
Very fair. You may continue to run with that as your story with those who don't or shouldn't know the truth about me. Anyway.
Okay, let's ask the Moon if she knows anything. It doesn't involve blackmail.
Well, if it isn't the luckiest jerk I've ever seen in my life. I had to schedule a specialist to come fix my ROM, and you better hope they can. Oh well, all's well that ends well. I underestimated how much people would appreciate an early Christmas. Anyway, what can I do for you?
I was hoping you had some time to talk.
Sure. I still have a little bit before closing, and I could use some conversation to distract me from the anticipation of the VR drama I have waiting for me when I get off.
Ooh.
What do you want to know?
Shall we Nova do promos for this place?
Charlie is a complete trip. We met when he was just starting out doing adverts. He still drops in every once in a while to hang out. I love the guy. He's super funny, always has the best stories, and his hair is perfect. And he parties harder than anyone I know. A couple weeks ago, he invited me to his raid at some hole that's probably already shut down, and he got so amped up on Crash that he jumped up on the table and hosted an impromptu dirty dancing contest.
Okay.
I swear, if he was in Charlie Nova, we would have gotten chucked out on our asses. But it was a lot of fun. If you want to meet him, just hang around here long enough. He loves mingling with his fans. Not that it helps his ego any.
What's the VR drama about?
Oh, it's an ongoing drama called Magical Commander Yukino. Yukino at the Gates to the Deep.
Okay, do they fight
In it,
Cthulhu?
you play the magical girl Yukino as she fights off elder gods as they arise from the ocean.
Oh my god, you literally do fight Cthulhu. That's awesome.
It's a bit cliched and just about as silly as you would expect, but it includes some really interesting intersection between the Japanese magical girl trope and the American Cthulhu mythos.
Yes, clearly.
All with a pseudo-military theme. In the newest episode, Yukino has to face off against the Yith as they try to inhabit the bodies of people in the present to escape their destruction in the past.
Goddamn Yithians. Remember, kids, as the darkest the hillside kids once told us in song, don't let the great race of Yith supplant your mind. How does a VR drama work? Is it like a video game?
Not really. Video games are about winning and manipulating the mechanics of the system to get ahead, right? Dramas are more about inhabiting the role of the character. There are rules, but they're mostly about behaving consistently in the fictional world. It's a bit like being in improv theater, except if you get too far out of your character, the system boots you out and you have to start the episode over. Everyone experiences the drama a little differently, but it stays broadly consistent because you have to maintain the behavior of the character you're inhabiting. It requires you to really get inside the head of another person. I like it better than VR games, but that's just me.
Fun. Maybe I'll look it up.
It's the best! Super awesome! If you need any other suggestions, just let me know. I played through a little bit of everything. I'm sure I could find something you'd like. Maybe a detective drama. Anyway. Sure! Just let me know if you need anything. I'm always happy to help.
Evidence added to items. This should be enough to get his attention.
Frankly, I'm starting to feel a bit uneasy about this. Mr. Nova's clearly an upstanding individual, if just a bit boisterous. But I suppose if we're in for a penny, we're in for a pound.
Oh, flesh.
This should be more than enough anecdotal evidence to fabricate a less than flattering image of Mr. Nova that the public will eat right up. Let us present our story to him immediately. Hopefully our delay has not put him in physical danger.
Indeed. Okay, that's now yeah.
Hey, you two!
What?
I think I'm gonna have to let security know that you're not allowed back in the building.
What? What's up? That might change your mind about teaming up.
Doubtful. But let's hear it. Never let it be said I didn't give someone a chance to dig their own grave.
I mean, this is sufficient. Has Charlie been having partying problems? Look at this!
So what? I like to show people a good time. There's nothing wrong with that.
Damn it, I told you to get off the crash, Charlie. Shit like this keeps coming up.
I did. And besides, I wasn't doing anything illegal.
Anyway, this is just pathetic. This is really your best attempt at blackmailing us?
Not much of an animal lover. Oh, are you,
Hey,
Charlie?
that's completely out of context. And I love Captain Snuggles.
Oh.
Sure, we didn't get off to a good start, but he's a great cat. The best.
Charlie, flipping off a kitten? Why? Whatever, this is still nothing but hot air.
I flip off Allegory's cat, Mr. Boo, frequently.
You need to step up your game, kid.
Over the world, I would love to hear such an inspiring pep talk.
Ha! You're just grasping at straws. This speech was truly a beacon of light for the entire entertainment community. There's no way an original sermon like that is going to convince anyone that I'm a bad guy.
Well, with some creative editing. You go public with this flimsy smear piece, I'm gonna tear you apart.
Oh, enough, enough! I'm not cut out for this cloak and dagger game, Sympathy. What's the big deal anyway? It's not like they've got anything substantial to use. I might as well give them what they want, so they'll go away.
Hooray! Yes, give us what we want.
Tell them whatever you want. And I'll be taking that evidence.
Evidence removed from items. Damn.
You didn't have to do all of this. I would have helped if you had just asked. But it's always push and dig and needle, isn't it? I'm not a journalist. I'm just an anchor.
Like a wanker.
I read off a teleprompter and look good doing it. I don't have much to offer you, but here's what I know. Trust me, I'd love to lay down some earth-shattering pronouncement and dazzle you with my investigative skills, but all I've got is flimsy threads at best. The thing is, all this stuff with my stories, stuff getting changed, making me look like I don't like the human revolution or whatever, it started after I had an upgrade made to my VR uplink hardware.
Oh, what kind of upgrade?
The technically legal kind. Look, I like to have a good time at a party, right? But Sympathy keeps hammering on me for pounding back too much crash and whatnot. Nothing illegal, but she says it makes me look like shit on camera the next day. So I went to this guy I know, good guy, everyone uses him. He's called Nanya. He does great work. After just one simple back alley brain surgery, bing bang boom.
Yes, one simple back alley brain surgery. I mean, this is the cyberpunk future, so...
I can use an app to make my VR uplink have the same effect on my brain that the stims do, without all the nasty physical side effects. It could be a coincidence, though. The tech guys didn't find anything wrong with my uplink, and they say the modifications check out. But that Nanya guy does a lot of work for media people around here, so if a bunch of posts are getting changed, maybe that's your weak link. Anyway, that's it. Pretty flimsy, but I'll send you the address and you can go talk to him.
Right, cool.
If he'll even see you, that is.
Nah. Well, thanks for the
Well,
help.
we took far too long to get to it, but I'm quite happy to assist in any way that I can. Just make sure you source me in your article, right? Maybe run a rough draft past me and I'll give you some quotes. I'm certain that'll help signal boost the story all the way to the stratosphere.
I see what he did there.
Give it the old Charlie Nova bump. Maybe we can smooth out all this silliness between us. Anyhow, I really have to get back to work. Let me know how it goes with the murderous hacker thing. My ROM will call your ROM.
Okay, now we have a new address to investigate.